Total of close to $100,000.
You need that money.
Hello? Yeah, and so do my grandchildren. I was nervous because I knew that I wasn't doing any of that. But I believed it.
That one call changed her life and not for the better. She's sharing her story with the hopes of other seniors don't end up like her, losing their life savings.
One phone call, that is all it took to steal nearly $100,000 from an 81-year-old grandmother who had spent decades saving every dollar. And by the time she realized what happened, her life savings had vanished into untraceable wire transfers, leaving her unable to remain in the home she had lived in for 30 years. And in her own devastating words, she admitted, "I was nervous because I knew I wasn't doing any of that, but I believed it." If you have elderly loved ones or want to understand how these predators operate, subscribe to this channel right now, because stories like this happen every single day across America, and awareness is our only defense. What happened to Gladys Baxley of Northeast Washington reveals a disturbing truth about elder fraud. The betrayal often comes disguised as protection, wrapped in official language, delivered by calm voices that exploit the very trust seniors place in institutions they have relied upon their entire lives. At 81 years old, Gladys had lived in the same home for 3 decades. She paid bills by check, used a landline phone, and had built her savings slowly across a lifetime of work, including running a small business, money guarded carefully throughout retirement, because it was meant to last through her remaining years and leave something behind for her grandchildren. She was not naive or careless. She was well-educated and had managed her affairs successfully for decades, but she trusted institutions like Social Security and her bank, believing these systems still worked the way they used to, which made her exactly who scammers target.
I got a call one day from a man who was saying he was from the Social Security Administration and asked if I knew that my Social Security number was being used by fraudsters.
The call came on an ordinary day when a man claimed to be from the Social Security Administration, his voice calm and professional, telling her that her Social Security number was being used by fraudsters involved in drug trafficking and money laundering, and the government needed to secure her number and money before suspension. There was no shouting or threats. It sounded procedural, like a notification requiring response rather than panic. And that calm, professional tone is precisely how these criminals gain trust. Gladys did not accept the claim immediately. She asked the man to prove his identity, and he agreed without protest, which only reinforced the impression he was legitimate. Documents arrived by email including what appeared to be his identification photo and a certificate claiming to be from the United States Supreme Court, referencing a case involving her name and stating her assets needed safeguarding. The document was not polished. Later review found nearly 40 spelling and grammar errors. It referenced Supreme Courthouse, which does not exist, and suggested the Supreme Court handles individual Social Security cases, which it absolutely does not. Gladys noticed things did not fit together. She saw problems, yet she later admitted it didn't all fit together and I did it anyway, which speaks to the psychological power of fear and urgency wielded by someone who understands manipulation. Instructions came quickly through text messages with clear steps. Gladys was told to consolidate money from 2 accounts at Eagle Bank as a temporary security measure. Receipts showed she made 2 wire transfers, $36,000 to Yangri Trading Incorporated and $58,000 to Shanga WS Incorporated, names meaning nothing to her but presented as secure holding accounts.
Nervous because I knew that I wasn't doing any of that. but I believed it.
She went to the bank, checked caller ID, wrote down instructions, and was told what to say if employees asked questions. Instructed not to mention the investigation or involve anyone else because delay was framed as dangerous. Her son Benjamin was a signatory on the accounts, but she did not tell him because the scammer warned her to keep everything confidential. The transfers went through, then the narrative shifted as she was told an error had occurred. Her money was exposed, and immediate action was required to recover it. Each step reinforced the last as screens showed balances appearing real and confirmations arrived. Then came the most devastating instruction. Withdraw $155,000 in cash, wrap it in newspaper, place it in a box, and ship it through UPS as a final security step. She followed the instructions, paused once, considering calling her son, but did not because urgency was constant and she believed danger was immediate. It was not until she finally spoke with Benjamin that everything collapsed within minutes. He heard a brief description and told her immediately, "Mom, you were duped, you were scammed." Her response reveals the unique cruelty of these crimes when she said, "I just thought, how could I have been so stupid because I'm well educated?"
Banks have to be a firewall in some sense to help protect vulnerable seniors because the scams are just getting worse.
The realization came with silence as instructions that seemed urgent suddenly made no sense, the authority disappeared, and the phone went quiet as scammers vanished with her money. Eagle Bank reviewed transactions and stated they have robust protocols to mitigate elder fraud, and employees followed all correct procedures since Gladys authorized the transfers. Police confirmed the receiving businesses were not legitimate, and the money moved through paths difficult to trace. FBI data shows scams targeting Americans 60 and older caused more than $3.4 billion in losses last year, and advocacy groups consistently emphasize government agencies never initiate contact this way, never call demanding immediate action, and never request unusual payment methods like wire transfers or cash shipments. Here are the red flags everyone must recognize. Any unexpected call from a government agency demanding immediate action is almost certainly a scam.
Mom, you were duped. You were scammed.
I just thought, how could I have been so stupid? Because I'm well educated.
Because real agencies send official letters. Any request to wire money or send cash to unfamiliar companies is a massive warning sign. Instructions to keep matters secret from family should immediately raise alarms because scammers isolate victims to prevent intervention.
That they're not going to ask for kind of unusual payment methods such as gift cards and wire transfers.
Documents with spelling errors or references to non-existent institutions like Supreme Courthouse indicate fraud, and anyone claiming you must move money to protect it is trying to steal it. Gladys Baxley's savings built over decades are largely gone. She cannot remain in her home of 30 years. Her trust has narrowed, and the landline that once connected her to family now represents threat rather than comfort. As her son stated, banks must be a firewall to protect vulnerable seniors because scams are getting worse. When asked what lesson she learned, Gladys gave an answer every viewer should remember. She simply said, "Call my son, because breaking isolation by talking to someone trusted before taking any financial action is the most powerful defense against these criminals." If this video was valuable and you want to protect other families, please subscribe and share with every senior in your life, because awareness defeats criminals who prey on trust, and communication defeats their isolation tactics. Talk to elderly loved ones today. Tell them government agencies never call demanding immediate action. Tell them secrecy requests are red flags. Tell them to always call family before doing anything with money, because scammers count on isolation and urgency. And the only way to defeat them is through patience and connection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay connected to people who can help you recognize when something is wrong.